Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mind Unscripted. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. This podcast is all about the real, unfiltered conversations on mental health, personal growth, and the everyday struggles we all face. I'm your host, Hafsa, and today we're diving into something we all need at some point in our lives: resilience. You know those days when nothing seems to go right, when everything feels like it's falling apart and you just want to crawl under the covers and wait for the storm to pass? Yeah, we've all been there. But resilience is what helps us weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. It's that quiet strength that keeps us going, even when things seem impossible. So, today I'm going to be sharing some tips and strategies on how you can build resilience in your own life. Let's break it down. How do we define resilience? What does it look like in real life? And most importantly, how can you build it up brick by brick so you're ready to face whatever life throws at you? Alright, let's start by defining resilience because it's one of those words we hear all the time. But what does it actually mean? Resilience isn't just about pushing through or toughing it out. It's not about pretending everything is fine when it's not. And it's definitely not about avoiding problems or hardships. Resilience is about adaptability. It's about being able to bend without breaking. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a tree, and when the wind blows, a rigid tree might snap under pressure, but a flexible tree bends with the wind. Resilience is your ability to bend with the wind of life. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not about being passive and going with the flow when things get tough. It's about actively working to adjust your mindset, your approach, and your strategies so you can deal with whatever life throws at you without being overwhelmed by it. So, in simple terms, emotional strength. The ability to manage your emotions under stress. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or frustrated. Resilience helps you process those feelings without letting them control you. And mental flexibility. The willingness to adapt and change when plans go sideways. Things won't always go the way we want, and resilience helps us navigate those detours. And lastly, perseverance. This is the part where you keep going, even when it feels hard. Resilience doesn't mean you won't stumble. It means you'll find the strength to get back up again and keep moving forward. Here's the kicker. Resilience isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build over time through experiences, both the good and the bad. So, how do we actually build resilience? How do we turn that abstract idea into something practical that you can use in your everyday life? Let's break it down. Number one, reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. The first step to building resilience is shifting your mindset. When life throws a curveball, it's easy to fall into the why me trap. I've been there too many times, feeling like the universe is against me, or that no matter how hard I try, things just don't go my way. But here's the thing, when we focus on the unfairness of a situation, we get stuck. Resilience is about reframing those challenges. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this? Think of a time you faced something really tough. Maybe it was a bad grade, a fallout with a friend, or a rejection from something you really wanted. At the time, it probably felt like the end of the world. But looking back, did you learn something from it? Did it make you stronger or give you a new perspective? That's resilience in action. So the next time something doesn't go your way, take a pause. Ask yourself, what's the lesson here? It might take time to see it, but once you do, you'll start to see challenges as opportunities for growth instead of roadblocks. Number two, build a support system that you can lean on. Let's be real. Life is hard, and trying to do it all on your own, that's even harder. So, one of the key components of resilience is having a support system, a group of people who can lift you up when you're feeling down, who will remind you of your strength when you've forgotten it yourself. For me, My support system has been everything. I have close friends who I can turn to when I'm feeling overwhelmed or stuck. They're the ones who listen, without judgment, and help me see things from a different perspective. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation with someone who gets it to help me bounce back. Think about your own support system. Who are the people you can lean on when times get tough? It could be a friend, family member, or even a therapist. If you don't have that circle of support yet, start building it. Don't be afraid to reach out to people and let them know you need their support. Number 3, create a bounce back plan. I love this one because it's all about being proactive. Resilience isn't just about handling things in the moment. It's about preparing for the moments that knock you off balance. Having a bounce back plan in place makes it easier to recover when things don't go your way. A bounce back plan is essentially a roadmap for how you'll handle stress and setbacks. It could include coping mechanisms. What do you do when you're feeling overwhelmed? Maybe it's journaling, exercising, or talking to a friend. Action steps. What small actionable steps can you take when you're feeling stuck? For example, if school is stressing you out, your first step might be organizing your study materials or breaking down assignments into manageable chunks. And lastly, support resources. Who can you turn to for advice or comfort? Keep a list of people you trust and can rely on. Take 10 minutes today to create your bounce back plan. Write down your coping mechanisms, action steps, and support resources. That way, when things get tough, you'll have a game plan in place to help you bounce back faster. Number 4, practice micro resilience every day. Here's the truth. Resilience isn't built in a day. It's built through consistent, small actions over time. These are what I call micro resilience practices. The little things you do every day that can help build your emotional strength and mental flexibility. Some examples of micro resilience practices include mindfulness. This doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just take a few minutes each day to check in with yourself. Notice how you're feeling, both physically and emotionally, without judgment. Maybe you focus on your breathing for a few minutes, or maybe you do a quick body scan to release any tension. Mindfulness helps you stay grounded and present, which is a key part of resilience. Next, gratitude. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to build resilience because it trains your brain to focus on the positive, even in tough times. Every night before bed, write down 3 things you're grateful for that day. They can be big or small, it doesn't matter. Over time, you'll start to notice how much good is already in your life, even when things are hard. And lastly, self-care. Resilience isn't just about pushing through. It's also about taking care of yourself along the way. Make time for activities that bring you joy, whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, or spending time with loved ones. When you prioritize self-care, you're recharging your emotional battery, which makes it easier to bounce back from challenges. Pick one micro resilience practice to start incorporating in your daily routine. It could be mindfulness, gratitude, or self care, whatever resonates with you. Stick with it for a week and notice how it impacts your mindset and emotional well being. Number 5, turn failures into feedback. I know it sounds cliche, but failures really are opportunities in disguise. The trick is to stop seeing them as dead ends and start seeing them as feedback. Every time something doesn't go the way you planned, ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? When you approach failure with a mindset of curiosity instead of defeat, you'll start to see it as a stepping stone to success, not a setback. I used to be terrified of failure. I thought that if I didn't get everything right on the first try, I was a failure. But over time, I realized that failure is part of the process. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the better you get. This is what happened with my study habits. I started doing terrible with my tests because my study habits were, to be honest, terrible. So the more I started failing, the more I started not getting the grades that I really wanted to, I started slowly taking that as feedback and tweaking my study habits, building a study plan and stuff like that. And now my results are a lot better and I'm happy with the results I get. So the next time you experience a setback, take a moment to reflect on what you can learn from it. Write down the lesson and how you'll apply it moving forward. This simple shift in mindset can turn failures into valuable learning experiences. So, there you have it, friends. 5 actionable ways to build resilience in your everyday life. Remember, resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about learning how to bend, how to adapt, and how to keep going even when things get tough. If you found today's episode helpful, I'd love to hear from you. What challenges have you faced in your own life, and how have you built resilience along the way? Share your stories with me on Instagram or send me a message. I'd love to connect. As always, thank you so much for tuning in to Mind Unscripted. If you haven't already, make sure to follow so you don't miss any future episodes, and I've got some exciting topics lined up and I can't wait to share them with you. Until next time, stay strong, stay resilient, and keep moving forward. You've got this.